Welcome to Foxhole. This is the third map from Stardate 20X6. In the last level we fought our way through the underground station, but we didn't find the exit out of the caves. Quite the contrary, we were forced to venture even further down into the depths of this alien planet. We do not know what awaits us here, but the way out has to be here somewhere. Foxhole is the final map of the cavernous theme in 20X6. In these underground chambers, twisted and convoluted burrows are connected to the large cave in the center. Our objective is to secure the yellow keycard that will allow us to access the reactor room. Shutting it down seems to be the only way to open the emergency exit out of the underground station. The structure of this level is a linear path towards the yellow key, with a couple of optional areas that we can visit. However, those areas are optional only in theory. One of them contains a rocket launcher, and without that piece of equipment we stand absolutely no chance against the enemies guarding the exit. There's also a secret plasma rifle, which is not essential, but it makes dealing with the finale a lot more manageable. This is also the last of the easy maps in Stardate, so we'd better enjoy it while we can. Okay, let's just do this. Grab the shotgun and take care of these guys. Just about everything in these opening areas is booby-trapped. The double-barrel shotgun in the next room is guarded by 2 archvials and a couple of chain gunners. The vials actually teleport away, which adds a bit of a confusion to the situation. I love this first encounter. There's something really satisfying and exciting about fighting archvials in such tiny spaces. Hiding around corners, trying to avoid their attacks. Thankfully this isn't very difficult, it's just a really cool action sequence. It looks cool, but it's pretty tame. Oh, and by the way, that's about the only thing that goes smoothly in this demo. This backpack is also a trap. A whole lot of enemies warping behind us. It's mostly cannon fodder, imps and zombies, but there's also pain elemental for good measure. The switch that we've just pressed opens the path to the next area. Our first goal is to get out of these cramped passages, and to do that we need to lower the bars blocking our way out. The switch we're looking for is guarded by nothing but a pair of spectres. It looks suspicious, and the soul sphere hints that something's up. And rest assured, revenants come out as soon as we flip the switch. We can see the yellow key on a pillar over there. That's our main objective, however it can't be reached from here. So let's finish off the revenants and move on. There we go. But before we leave, we should investigate that wall near the entrance to reveal the first secret. Yeah, so now we can leave. The way towards the big central cave is now open. That lift over there takes us to the mega armor, but before I go there I want to clear out the big cavern to the right. We're finally out of the burrows. There's a bunch of monsters here, knights and chain gunners on ledges, arachnotrons on the ground level, and a pain elemental lurking in the alcove. I like to get the knights to fight with the spiders, but I don't want to waste too much time trying to make that happen. That big door over there leads to the building housing the rocket launcher, and probably the nastiest fight in this whole level. That place is the only thing I'm concerned about, and you'll see why when we get there. In the meantime, let's clear out this open area. I choose to rush the chain gunners, which is not the smartest thing in the world. I'm kind of in a hurry because at this point I'm re-recording a really bad demo I had of this level that was over 30 minutes long, and I don't want to spend too much time on it. So here I'm trying to secure the mega armor for the next encounter, but I accidentally pick it up too early. Thankfully I've managed to avoid taking damage. Now let's grab all the supplies and prepare for the big fight. So here's the situation. We're gonna have a large group of revenants on one end of the room and a cyber demon on the other. There are two switches to press and I think you can guess where they are. We need to instigate some infighting here, but unfortunately for us, these are not the only enemies we'll face in this battle. After a few moments, a large group of imps and goats swarms in, and then this encounter turns into pure chaos. There's really no safe space here. We can't stay behind the cyber demon, but it's not safe around the revenants either. Right now the cyber got out into the open, and we want him to kill as much stuff as possible before he goes down. Yeah, this is just a giant mess. There's so many things that can go wrong here, it's crazy. At this point I'm really just waiting for the cyber to die. Once he's out of the way, we'll be able to trigger a secret fight in this area. Like I said before, technically we don't have to bother with this place, but if we don't, then we won't have the rocket launcher for the finale, which is pretty much a death sentence. Overall, I'm playing really carelessly here. As I mentioned earlier, I had a demo of this map that I wanted to use for this series, but it was just painful to rewatch, so I decided to redo it. But the other reason I'm playing carelessly is because this level has some really epic music that just makes me pumped. This track was composed by James Paddock, also known as Jimmy, a very proficient member of the Doom community. And yeah, Jimmy made a lot of cool stuff. He made a MIDI soundtrack for Sigil, and also Deathless, which is the best classic Doom 1 megawatt. The secret fight introduces a horde of revenants and pain elementals to this area, so I leave some of the knights for the infighting. That's really stupid. I tried to avoid picking up the Berserk, but I just took damage because of it. I mean, it's nice to have a Berserk as an extra healing item, but in this case it was not a good idea. This demo is over 10 minutes faster than my first exit, but I play really poorly at many points, and I end up almost dying like 4 or 5 times. But hey, I guess that makes things more interesting, doesn't it? Alright, so once you get to this point, the worst is over. Time to tackle the burrows on the other side. Here I'm trying to be smart by focusing on the Archvile, but I get so engrossed in my own cleverness that I don't notice a revenant sneaking up on me. Man, just look at this. Some tech contraptions inside the cave walls, like, what's that supposed to be? But it's nice, it makes this place feel strange and alien. That's pretty bad. The revenants force me into this passage that has an Archvile and a Baron lurking behind the corners, so all I can do is try to back away and get out as soon as possible. And there's the Archvile. As soon as he moves, a Baron warps in behind him. These cramped passages allow the Baron to serve as a perfect meat shield, so I want to kill the Vile right off the bat. Here we have another spectacular fail. Once again I try to be smart, this time by focusing on the chain gunners that warp in, but I end up almost dying to the Mankibai instead. Wonderful. We do have some medikits left behind, but still, that was really bad. Yeah, so now I'm just looking for something to heal myself with. Yeah, these guys got released over there. But that's not really a problem. Lots of leftovers from the previous fights. It's always amazing to me how the successful demo attempts are often jam-packed with silly mistakes and blatant screw-ups. A lot of my demos are like that. I actually wanted to call this series highly unoptimized runs or something, because that's what they are. Usually as soon as I get a successful demo I just move on and never look back. Well, I'm saying this, but I actually re-recorded a couple of demos because I was not happy with them. Though I primarily did this because of this series, because I didn't want to have demos that are just painful to watch. This is another cramped encounter. I try to be fancy by not running away, but I get forced off this ledge anyway. It's not really a big deal though. And it's actually more convenient to fire a couple of rockets from down below. It's kind of like that Cyber Demon fight in the last level. You can just say, I don't feel like doing this, I'm just gonna cheese it and shoot from a perfectly safe position. So the Baron dies, I lower the lift and run to the side to lure the monsters away from it. Coming up next is the secret fight for the plasma rifle. We have to shoot a very small switch to lower the teleporter that will take us to the arena visible through the window here. Yeah, there's the switch. That's a cool fight. We're locked in this little square with imps attacking us from all sides, while knights and revenants put pressure on us from above. Enemies teleport randomly, so you never know where the revenants appear, which just makes this even more exciting. So when this barrier lowers, so does the wall in the back, revealing a group of revenants. I take cover behind the pillar, hoping to clear out the knights first, but unfortunately I get spotted, so I just choose to fight it out in the open. And yeah, in case you're wondering, we can totally escape from here. We don't really have to deal with this if we don't want to. That was a nasty hit. But we still have that soul sphere, so it's all good. There's a pretty obnoxious secret here. We have to press a seemingly random piece of a wall to reveal a cell pack. I used to think it's not indicated in any way, but upon closer investigation it turned out that there's a single health potion in a row of armor bonuses there, and that's where the secret is. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Alrighty, we have all the heavy weapons now, so it's time to get the yellow key. Pre-fire a few rockets and focus on the vials. I used to think that this is really difficult, but it really isn't. I don't know why I had so many problems with it back in the day. However, the second stage is a bit harder, and as you might expect, I do mess it up as well. That's a shame, because I like situations like this. We flip the switch and the area gets swarmed with imps and hell knights. This is really cool. This is a really cool battle for space, but I make a mistake of sticking to the double barrel shotgun, and this almost kills me here. I feel pretty bad about this. This is such a cool level, and I do a terrible job at showcasing it, by playing like an idiot. Down to almost no health again. Brilliant. Yeah, a moment of silence for my masterful performance in this level. But don't be deluded into thinking that this level is super hard. It's not. It's actually really fun. I just make it look harder than it is. Or maybe I just make myself look incompetent. Whatever. Anyway, the fight is over and we're rewarded with the yellow key. All that's left is the epic finale. I briefly considered looking for help before going to the last section, but we do get a megasphere there, so I just change my mind halfway through and head straight towards the yellow door. The final area, I call it a reactor room, but I honestly have no idea what it's supposed to be. I like coming up with backstories for things when I get immersed in a level. Alright, here we go. Stuck up on rockets and drop down. This is a rather lengthy battle divided into several stages. After we press the switch, imps and revenants start warping into the area. You see those pillars everywhere? These will start lowering in a sequence, opening up the middle section and introducing more and more enemy types as the fight goes on. Unlike in some of the previous encounters, we cannot rely on infighting here, so we should try to kill as much stuff as possible or else we can get overwhelmed. Initially, we can just keep running around and shooting at whatever monsters are nearby, but there's a rather nasty surprise incoming that will force us to adapt to the situation or die. Once the second set of pillars starts lowering, we'll know that the playtime is over. And there it is. Walls on both ends of this room lower, unleashing a giant horde of Hell Knights. This successfully prevents us from continuing our joyful run around the room and let the monsters kill themselves strategy. Since we're cut off from both sides, the only way out is through the middle. We need to take control of the situation, otherwise we'll get completely blocked from moving around at all. If we survive until the Hell Knights stop pouring out from the tunnels, then we know we're on the right track. Still, the battle is far from over. There comes a point where arachnotrons start coming out of the teleporters. This is the time to switch to the plasma rifle. We can't afford to try to actively kill them, there's just too many. So our best bet is to run around the room again and using the plasma rifle to push through the enemies. The spiders are really large and they can cut us off more quickly than we might expect. See, I told you the plasma rifle will be useful here. Without it, we'd have a lot more trouble carving our way through the enemies. This wraps up the first stage of the fight. Right now, another switch is available to us, and this one will trigger the final wave consisting of 2 cyber demons and a swarm of pain elementals. As always, I like to have some of the less obnoxious monsters alive to help with the infighting, however there are still too many at this point. Specifically, I do not want too many arachnotrons around because we need a lot of space for when the pain elementals arrive. This isn't required, by the way. When I was recording my first demo, I forgot about the pain elementals, so I killed everything here and only flipped the switch afterwards. It was a mess, but yeah, I survived, so it's doable. Still, it's nice to have some enemies to distract the cyber demons. And it's time. Swarms of pain elementals are generally very panic-inducing, and players usually freak out when they see a lot of them coming at once. So, in order to survive, we need to do the opposite and stay calm. Keep shooting, but don't get too focused on killing them as quickly as possible. In a situation like this, with cybers around, it's better to play it safe. Yeah, I'm talking about playing it safe while pulling out the rocket launcher. Wonderful. But actually, learning how to fight pain elementals with rockets is a really good thing. With some practice, you will be able to react when one of them is about to spawn a Lost Soul and turn away just in time to prevent blowing yourself up. If you can manage that will help you a lot, because these guys die very quickly when subjected to explosions. Yeah, at this stage of the battle, it's really just a matter of cleaning up. There are a lot of resources in the middle section, but it's kind of hard to find an opportunity to grab them. And there's actually a rather embarrassing mistake that I make towards the end. Right now, the exit out of the level should be open, and we can find 2 big cell packs there. However, for some reason, I completely forgot about that, and I end up desperately trying to find cells in the middle and shotgunning the cyber demons. I felt really stupid when I noticed those cell packs when everything was already dead. Well, I've only lost about a minute because of it, but still, the awkwardness of trying to finish off the cybers with a shotgun could have been easily avoided. Right, so as I mentioned in the beginning, we're about to leave the underground base and head towards the station that's in space? Yeah, I'm not really sure how does that work, but maybe we should not dwell on it. Pretty much everything up until this point was just a warm-up. The next level will be a sharp reminder that this is a map set made by Ribbiks. And after that, well, things will really start spiraling out of control. To be quite honest, I don't really like the aesthetics in the upcoming levels as much as I like those cave environments, but the battles will be definitely more exciting and tense. There are a lot of really technical fights, and those are really fun to figure out. Every now and then I like challenging myself with levels like this. Yeah, just one cyber left, and we're almost done with this. To be perfectly honest, this kind of stuff is not really my favorite type of Doom gameplay. I'm generally more about stuff that is very immersive. I like the levels that are focused on atmosphere, it's kind of the sense of being in a virtual environment that I can explore and just lose myself in. That's really my kind of stuff. But like I said, every now and then I just like challenging myself, just like playing stuff like this. It's more focused on overcoming the challenges rather than immersing myself. Now finally. And there we go. Next up, space.